Hey, yo everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be doing Swamp Thing, issue number 2. Take a look at this comic cover right here. Now, where we last left off, Alec Holland is trying to readjust to normal life after being brought back to life. And after trying to readjust back to normal life, we have this big, massive, grotesque monster going around killing people and going on a rampage. Alec later comes in contact with Swampthing, and this is where we pick up in issue number 2. Swampthing reveals that he is actually one of the many Swamp Things, and this particular one is from the 40s. And he decided to separate himself from the Greens so that he could talk to Alec and tell him exactly the dangers that is coming and what it means to be Swamp Thing. He tells him that this danger coming up is called Seath. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. Sethe is this opposite of the green, the opposite of what Swamp Thing represents. It causes pestilence and plague. It's responsible for many of the different atrocities throughout the years in nature, just like the Black Plague, for example. And he says that only one individual truly connected to the green, the Parliament, can defeat this monster, and that individual is Alec. And Alec goes on to say, but I've already been Swamp Thing, and you know what? Hey, I wasn't that good. And this Swamp Thing then tells him the reason why is because you were never Swamp Thing. You died before you could become Swamp Thing, and the creature that you thought was you was just a replication, an imitation to see if the green could create what you would have been. So he then leaves Alec Holland and tells him, by the way, the woman in the white hair, be careful. Stay away from her. And right after this happens, Seath, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right, decides to attack. However, of course, there's a twist at the end. But you're going to have to read and see what that twist is. Let's get into the good, the bad, and whether or not you should get it. Good. First and foremost, by God, if there was any horror title, this is it. There's some creepy ass shit in this, and there's some twisted things I don't even want to go into, but it is screwed up. But in a good way, because this is a horror comic, kind of a mystery horror suspense comic, so it does its job well in that sense. In addition to that, the dialogue, the just pure plotting dialogue going between Swamp Thing, or at least one of the Swamp Things, and Alec is great. We get to learn more about what makes Alec Alec. We get to learn more about his time as Swamp Thing, and we get to learn more about the Green, learn more about Swamp Thing, which is great. It was beautifully done. A lot of information gets thrown at you, and we know what the threat is. We know what it represents, what its intentions is, and exactly what needs to be done to stop it. And the twist ending at the end is predictable, but it's still good, and it keeps the comic going. In addition to that, the art was really nice, and the setup was really good. And like I said, the really screwed up atrocities and monsters that are shown in this, the art paints them out really nicely. I won't even go into detail of just how messed up these things are. Bad. I can't think of any bad. Swamp Thing issue number 2 was a solid issue. And whether or not you should get it, definitely. Swamp Thing is turning out to be one of the better series in the DC relaunch. I think the hardest transition is going to be for some readers is going from that superhero genre into this horror genre, because this is not a superhero book. There's not going to be a lot of action. There's not going to be a lot of craziness that comes with being in a superhero title. This is a lot of plot. This is a lot of story. This is a lot of characterization. Heavy in it, and they do it very nicely. On a whole, this issue was really great. 5 out of 5 stars. If I had to give it a rating, that's what it would be. And I definitely recommend anyone picking it up. If you did not get issue number 1 yet, first of all, why are you watching this review? Because I just spoiled issue number 1 for you. But to be honest, if you haven't got issue number 1 yet, I recommend picking it up and then picking up issue number 2. This is a good series, and if you want to try something new, Swamp Thing is a good place to go. Scott Snyder is rocking it on Batman, and he's rocking it on Swamp Thing. And I find it funny because they constantly say Scott Snyder is probably one of the nicest guys you ever meet, but he has some of the most screwed up stories in the world. Hey, they're good stories, but like I said, Swamp Thing issue number 2, great issue, a solid issue. Definitely recommend it. This is Andrew saying peace out for now.